Is Star Wars Battlefront 3 possibly already in development? Here's why I think so. Now, if you clicked on this video expecting actual Battlefront 3 news, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you right now that I don't have an inside source, there's no leaks, there's no information regarding a Star Wars Battlefront 3. Everything that I'm saying right now and going forward is speculation. There's no official source for what I'm saying right now. This is only my opinion and my suspicion that, yes, I believe that a Battlefront 3 is already in development right now. As we know, DICE has stopped supporting Battlefront 2 as of April 2020. With this in mind, I can only assume that the DICE team has now been moved to work on the next Battlefield title that will be released by EA in late 2021. Now, how does this relate to Battlefront 3? Well, although Battlefield and Battlefront do not directly relate to each other, I do think it's safe to say that we can look at some of the Battlefield news that we've received and draw conclusions possibly about Battlefront 3 if it were to ever be developed. According to a recent earnings call from EA, they said that DICE is creating our next Battlefield game with never-before-seen scale. The technical advancements of the new consoles are allowing the team to deliver a true next-gen vision for the franchise. We have hands-on playtesting underway internally, and the team has been getting very positive feedback on the game as we've begun to engage our community. The next Battlefield is set to launch in holiday 2021. We're excited to share a lot more about the game in the spring. So after reading this, my eyes and my brain immediately jump to the part of this statement where they say, DICE is creating our next Battlefield game, which with a never-before-seen scale. Now, Battlefield, similar to Battlefront, is known for its large-scale battles, and you know, Battlefield has had huge maps. I mean, I remember one of the largest maps from Battlefield 5 was this shoreline, and then it's like an entire mountain is the map. Huge map sizes. I mean, I don't even think we could compare it to Battlefront 2 maps, because I think the largest map we have in Battlefront 2 is either Hoth or maybe, I would say Hoth, Camino, and maybe Kashyyyk. Probably Kashyyyk. Kashyyyk's probably the largest map in the game. And that's already a huge map. I mean, I don't know the exact measurements and how it compares with the Battlefield map, but what I'm trying to say is, I think it's safe to say that the technologies that will be used by DICE in the next Battlefield game to create a scale that's never been seen before is going to be used in a Battlefront 3 if it were to ever be developed. Now, what I'm saying is that although Battlefront 3 is not directly being developed as of this moment, the technology that will be used for that game, if it were to ever be created, most likely is being created right now. I think that's a safe assumption to say. As we know, there's no official news on Battlefront 3, whether it's in development or not, or if it ever will be developed. However, I do think it's safe to say that the technology used to create these large-scale battles in the Battlefield franchise would most likely be used in a Battlefront 3 title. I think that's safe to say, and that's my opinion. I think that a lot of the like the command post system from Battlefront 2, a lot of that technology was basically drawn over from the Battlefield series. I don't think you can just copy paste that technology from game to game, because you know, I doubt it'd be that easy. But I'm sure they use that as a template, or they use some of the technologies that they were able to easily transport it over somehow. I don't know. I'm not a game developer, never credited it, never said I was, whatever. What I am trying to say here is that I think that if DICE were to take the technology that they're using from the Battlefield series and implement it into a Star Wars game in the future, if it ever would happen, this would be the technology that they would use. I think that's safe to say, because the Battlefield series really kind of it evolved when the Xbox One came out. You know, you had Battlefield 3 in the previous titles, and their maps were big. But I think like with Levolution and Destructibility and that kind of stuff, they really expanded upon that with the Xbox One and PS4. And they built upon those technologies during that era of gaming, roughly, you know, post 2013 to 2019, 2020. And so what I think they're doing now is they're taking the technology that they had before with games like Battlefield 4 and 5 and 1, and they're developing onto that even more, making it even bigger. And so if you build upon that and make it such a large game, I don't see why that technology would not be used in a Battlefront 3 if it were to ever be developed. So that's why I think it's safe to say that the technology that would be used for Battlefront 3 is being developed right now. I think that's a safe assumption to say. I know it's like the 20th time I said that, but some people are going to be in the comments and they need to hear me say the same thing 20 times in order to get my point across. That's just how it works, folks. So like I said, this is not official Battlefront 3 confirmation. This is not a developer saying, yeah, we're working on it, because all the DICE developers right now are working on Battlefield 6. And as a fan of the Battlefield and Battlefront series, I'm excited to see what they do with Battlefield 6. I really hope that it's not Battlefield 6 and it's a Bad Company 3, because I love the campaign for that game. But that's a whole nother story. Just hearing EA saying that the next Battlefield is being developed on a scale that we've never ever seen before is good news to me, because I feel like that technology would be encouraged to use on a Battlefront 3 if it were ever to be created by DICE. And so with that being said, I gotta think that, it's safe to say that Battlefront 3, if it were to be developed, would use the similar technology. I think it's just how it works. One of my biggest disappointments with Star Wars Battlefront 2015 by EA was the fact that it did not live up to Battlefront 3 by Free Radical at all. I mean, it was a shell of a Star Wars game, in my opinion. I didn't like the star card loadout system. I didn't like the jetpack star cards. People would just jump snipe. I hated it. I mean, I liked it because it was the only Star Wars game we had at the time. The newest Star Wars game at the time. So it was just like, I'll take what I can get. But honestly, that game did not deliver really anywhere, for me at least. I mean, customizability, yeah, I understand. It was good, but in terms of battle, like gameplay, vehicles, heroes, troopers, no, none of it really lived up to my expectations. And that's because I was expecting a space to ground type of game that we saw from Free Radical that was canceled in 2008, Seeing a clone get into a starfighter and take off to the skies, fly past a Venator, and go into space, land on an enemy ship and blow it up from the inside. That's what I wanted. I think that's what everybody wanted, and I think a lot of people just were, satisfied they were just getting a Star Wars game, so they were just like, okay, I'll take this game from DICE. And I don't think DICE made a bad game on purpose. I feel like they were experimenting, and they wanted to feel it out. They didn't want to just copy Battlefield and make a Battlefield Star Wars skin game. I would be okay with that, but they didn't want to do that, which I understand. They wanted to try some new stuff out. But the reason why they didn't just skin Battlefield or they make a game that's space to ground is because that technology by Free Radical that made the space to ground possible was it was basically erased when the company fell through. Lucasfilm did not get a hold of that technology. I don't think DICE has it or EA had it. But with technology now, I feel like space to ground and these huge, unbelievable, foreseen maps are possible, considering where we are. And if Free Radical can do it in 2007 or 8, I feel like we can do it now in 2020, considering how funded DICE is and they have the Disney Star Wars license. I feel like they have plenty of funds to develop the technology. Now, it's easier said than done, and I'm not a game developer, and I'm sure it's a very tedious process to develop the code and all of the physics and stuff like that to make a space-to-ground map possible. But, that's kind of the point of this video series going forward, is I'm going to be talking about Battlefront 3, what I want to see, gameplay, etc., and what I feel like DICE can learn from the previous games. And I'm not a game developer. I'm just a very passionate fan who in his free time just wants to talk about Battlefront 3, because honestly, if I were to have a Star Wars game come out in the future that I would want to play out of any other Star Wars game, it would be Star Wars Battlefront 3. I say that with full confidence. I'd rather see Battlefront 3 than any other game really with the Star Wars title on it, other than Knights of the Old Republic 3. So yeah, that's why I'm making this video. I'm venting. I'm trying to maybe, connect more with people in the community who feel the same way, inform people of why I feel like Battlefront 3 is possible, because a lot of people out there are doubting the fact that Battlefront 3 would ever even happen. Some people don't even want it. They want other games, which is fine. That's their own opinion. But to me, I want Battlefront 3 more than anything. And I know me just saying it isn't going to make it happen or whatever, but I just wanted to make this video just to talk about it and talk about this little snippet of news that I felt like might have been a little bit interesting if you look at it through a certain lens. And so yeah, I just expect more videos like this going forward, analyzing the leaked gameplay from Free Radical's Battlefront 3, talking about the campaign for Battlefront 3, what I'd like to see, customization, gameplay, maps, vehicles, overall hero gameplay, that kind of stuff. Just expect those kind of videos going forward. I'm still going to make plenty of videos on Battlefront 2. You know, as you can see, I got gameplay of it going right now. There's plenty of mods and stuff I got to make videos on as well. So expect those as well. But if you made it to the end of the video, I want to thank you for listening to me talk about this potential news regarding the technology that could be used in a Battlefront 3 title. With that, I think I'm going to bring this video to an end. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your viewership, and expect more videos in the future coming soon. And thank you guys so much for the support, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.
Do it. Do it. Do it. I am the Senate. Do it.